we are back at Up North at 4. We are joined with Gail Andreski, who is the I-Corps board member and marketing chair for Mercer Bike Expansion Project, and Brenda Nelson, the I-Corps board member and Mercer Bike Expansion Project chair. Ladies, thank you for joining us here today.
It's great to be here.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
You were here a couple months ago, and you kind of briefly highlighted a little bit about this huge project that is taking place right now. So Brenda, let's get into it, and let's start with the project.
Okay, so I want to explain what we're doing in Mercer in the context of kind of what's going on in the Northwoods with bicycling. So if you heard of the Heart of Vilas Trail System, big, so it is the longest paved bike trail in Wisconsin, and it is 52 miles of paved bike trails. It's also on the National Recreation Trail list, so it is a searchable trail for anybody in the country to find. So it's big, and it's a gem in the Northwoods. Today, the Heart of Vilas Trail, and I have a map of it here, it's what's in orange, but today the Heart of the Vilas Trail has these two dead-end spurs. So there's a dead-end spur that goes to Mercer, and it stops in Mercer from Manitoush Waters. And then there's a spur that ends at Windman Trails in Winchester, which is right outside of Manitoush Waters. And what we want to do is connect those two spurs and make a big loop at the end of Heart of Vilas Trail, which would be a 24-mile loop. So it'd be a beautiful, instead of having these dead ends, it'd be a beautiful loop, and that loop would connect the whole trail, and that loop would also go through the Northern Highlands State Forest, which is a beautiful section of Iron County and Vilas County. So that's what we're trying to do. And in 2022, we had a group get together and create this vision. And then in 2023, we applied for a feasibility study grant, which we received. We did the grant work. It's a feasibility grant, and we did the grant work last year. It was completed this year. And we have all this information about the trail, what it's going to cost. We did the real estate analysis, the utility analysis. We met with all of the groups like the snowmobile trails and the UTV trails. We did the safe routes to school analysis. So we did all of this work as part of it. But then we got a note from the DOT saying all the grants were on hold for this year. So we're like, oof. We had the momentum, and then it stopped. Well, our momentum is back because the DOT grant is back out there, and that grant has to be done by the end of the month. So we're in the middle of it right now, writing that grant. Luckily, we had all of our homework done, so doing the grant is not that hard, and we are applying for that grant right now. This feasibility study tells us that the project is so big and complex, we should break it into 3 phases. So we are currently doing that grant work for phase 1, and the reason that it's broken into 3 is we cross townships, we cross counties, the jurisdiction is complex. The cost is complex, the project complexities are just great. So, but phase 1 is a really cool project in and of itself. Even if that's the only one we ever do, it could be a standalone project. Because phase 1 really does this little loop of Mercer. So where the trail ends that I talked about earlier, now the trail extends through Mercer, past the school, past the library, past all the businesses in town, the historical museum in Mercer, goes through the park, goes up Highway J, and connects into the school forest and back around. So it's like a little mini 7-mile urban loop of Mercer. So that is phase 1 of our project. And it's a great connection, and it's a great boon for Mercer. It's the foundation of our total project, but it's also a great project in and of itself. So that's what we're applying for. That project itself is $1.4 million. And that $1.4 million, the grant we're applying for, would pay for 80% of that $1.4 million. So we are fundraising and trying to raise the other 20%, and I'm going to let Gail talk about that.
So the other 20% is $130,000. So we need to work at that by reaching out to our community, and we're actually kicking off our fundraising campaign, because on September 11th, we got full support of the town. Our town council signed the resolution saying that they would be our sponsor for the project. And it's perfect because this year, our Mercer's comprehensive plan and Iron County's recreational outdoor plan were updated. And in both plans, our project, the Mercer Bike Expansion Trail project, was highlighted in there as a high priority. So that's key to getting the support that we need from our township. And then also, it's a requirement, certainly, for us to apply for the grant, is to have that signed town support. So we're on it, and one of the things that we are so excited about is that our event that we came and talked about prior to it happening, it happened in August, and in that we had 235 registered riders for our event. And
our first annual is pretty cool.
Yeah, to be able to attract that many riders. So we wanted to make it the best event ever, so they'd come back. We had 36 volunteers from the community to help run that event. And we also had financial support from 32 of our businesses in Mercer. And that's why we were able to get $50,000 as a profitability out of that event. So moving forward, now what we're doing is, besides working on financing through our DOT grant and then other organizations, other corporations that are out there that support bike trail expansion, we're going to be reaching out to them now to try to raise the remaining of our money. And the way this works is that we won't know if we're a recipient of the grant until mid-2026. And therefore, we've got time on our hands to be able to raise this money. And we already have in place the new August 1st, 2026 event that we're going to have, and hopefully we're going to shoot for 20% more registered riders, and as a result, even more fundraising for our project. So.
Gail and Brenna, thanks so much for joining us today. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be right back after the break. We're going to talk about some PFAS issues in Oneida County.